welcome to our lesson for today.
Yeah.
So today we are continuing the story of the kind woman of Shunem and what happened to her son. Because remember last time she was so happy that she had a son because God had given her a son thanks to her being helpful and the man of God praying for her.
Yeah.
But then her son had died.
Yeah.
Sadly and out of nowhere, he had just died.
Yeah.
And the woman was so sad and upset, and she rushed quickly as fast as she could to go and see Elisha. So while she was still far away, Elisha recognized her, and he sent his servant Gehazi and told him, "Look, there is the woman of Shunem. Go and find out what is wrong."
Yeah.
So Gehazi ran out to meet her, and when he met her, he tried asking her, "What's
What is
wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? What is that? Why are you in trouble?" And the woman refused to speak to him, and she just wanted to go and see Elisha. And then Gehazi began to stop her because he did not want her to go and bother the prophet. But Elisha said, No, let her come. Can't you see she's upset?
Yeah.
So when the woman got to Elisha, she got off her donkey and she
was
cried out her
sad.
troubles
Yes,
to
and she was
Elisha
crying and
and
saying,
said, Why did you
raise
ask God to
my
give me
hopes?
a son? Why did you raise my hopes by asking God to give me a son?
Look, now he's dead. I don't have a son.
Why would you let this happen? And then Elisha looked at Gehazi and said, Take my staff. Hurry, take my staff and go and lay it on the child.
Yeah.
Hurry quickly and don't stop.
Don't stop anyone. Don't stop for anyone. Just make sure you go straight to where the boy is and put this stuff on him.
So and then he went, and the woman...
Gehazi went, but now the woman would not have that. She told Elijah, no, we have to go with you. You have to come with me. And Elijah agreed and said, yes, we're going to go together. So remember, Gehazi had already gone ahead of them. So now Elisha and the woman are going to see the son who was now dead. But then, somewhere along the way, they met Gehazi coming back with sad news, and Gehazi said, There's no hope. The child is dead. Nothing works. The stuff did not work.
The child is dead.
The child is still dead and lifeless.
And then Elisha went up to the woman's house.
Yes, when they got home.
Yeah. And he went straight to his room and he shut the door. And then he prayed.
Yes.
And he prayed to God. And then he looked at the child that was laid in his bed. And then he laid gently on top of the child.
Yes.
And he put his eyes on the child's eyes, his hands on the child's hand, and his mouth on the child's mouth. And then gradually some warmth went back into the body, into the cold body of the child. Because remember, the child had died, so his body was cold. And then as Elijah was lying gently on top of him, warmth went back to him. And then Elisha stood up and he paced around the room. And after he paced around the room, he came back and breathed another set of warm air into the child's body. And then suddenly there was a small sound.
Again.
And then suddenly the boy's eyes opened wide open. And then Elisha said, he told Gehazi, go get the mother, get the boy's mother. And then when the mother came, Elisha told her, here is your son. And the mother was crying, and she looked at her boy and she took her boy and she was so happy. And then the little boy smiled at her and she said, he's alive. Because now her son was alive again.
Yes, so from these children we learn that our God is a God of miracles, and he can do even what we do not think of, the impossible. Like he was able to bring back life into this dead boy, and now the boy was alive again. So we are going to stand up and sing our song. So let's all stand up and sing this song.
Okay, kids, it's time for us to sing our song. Now we've just seen how God has done an amazing miracle,
yes.
and how the woman of Shunem, her son, is now alive. He was dead, but now he's alive. So we're gonna sing about the goodness of God and how it makes us want to scream and shout and praise God.
Yes.
So everyone stand up and help us sing this song.
I wanna scream it out from every mountain.
kindness fills my life. Your love amazes me. And I sing because you are good, and I dance because you are good, and I shout because you are good. You are good to me. And I sing because you are good, and I dance because you are good, and I shout because you are good. You are good to me. I wanna scream it out from every mountain top. Your goodness knows no bounds. Your kindness never stops. Your mercy follows me. Your kindness fills my life. Your love amazes me. And I sing because you are good, and I dance because you are good, and I shout because you are good. You are good to me. And I sing because you are good, and I dance because you are good, and I shout because you are good. You are good to me.
It's time for us to do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how Elisha went back to Shunem after hearing that the widow's son, not the widow's son, that the rich farmer's wife's son had died. And he went back and he prayed to God. And then he put his eyes to the child's eyes, his hands to the child's hand, his mouth to the child's mouth, and he breathed warm air into the child. And then the child woke up by sneezing. Achoo! And he sneezed again. Achoo! And he sneezed again. Achoo! And then his eyes opened.
Yes.
So, for us to remember this story that the child went from being dead to being alive, we have our craft. So what we have in our craft is we have a drawing of two children. One, his eyes are closed because he's not alive. Then the next one, his eyes are wide open and he's looking around at everything because now he's alive.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to color these two children. And then to remember what has happened, we'll put a card in front of this. And here we will write Elijah. We'll put a card right in front of this like this. Then here we will write Elisha prays. And after Elisha prays, we have a child whose eyes are wide open and is looking right at us. Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. I want you first to take your time coloring these two sets of children.
Okay.
Okay, so once we have everything colored, next thing I want you to do is I want you to put your coloring aside and I want you to take your card. Now remember, on one side of the card we need to write Elisha prays, and on the other side of the card we need to write he is alive. And we find this story in 2 Kings chapter 4. So we also need to write that down. So first I want you to fold a small part of the bottom of your card. So the side that says Elisha prays should be the one covering the child who is alive,
yes.
And the side that says he is alive should be the one covering the child who is dead. So let me fold that again and then write right here on top. So again, be careful so you don't make a mistake like I did. Okay, so this is the side we're writing he is alive. So take your pen and write he is alive. And then on the same page write 2 Kings chapter 4. Then on the other side, make sure it's turned, faces correctly, and covers the child. We write Elisha prays. So Elisha prays. And on the other side, he is alive. And now we bring back our first paper and take our glue stick and stick everything together. Now that we have everything complete, you should be able to fold one side on top of the other and says Elisha prays. And then when we come back up, he's alive.
Yes.
So now we'll never forget that when the son of the woman of Shunammite died, she went to Elisha, and Elisha came rushing quickly and he prayed to God, and God performed a miracle.
Yes.
And that God can do things that we can't even imagine. That is all we need to remember.
Yes.
So this is our craft for today, and that has been our lesson for today. And until next time, bye.